Hi there everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Prestige Liquids. My name is Andrew, and as always it is fantastic to have you here with me again on another whiskey review video. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for joining me along my journey, and if you're new to the channel, then please make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so that you can stay up to date with all future content. So take a moment, do that right now, and you'll be really helping me out and supporting the channel. So alright, let's get on with it. Now in today's video I'm going to be reviewing a Scotch. This video is going to be featuring the Cardhu 12-year-old. This is a 12-year-old single malt from the Speyside region in Scotland. It is being bottled at 40%, and I believe that it has also been chill filtered and most likely had color added to it as well. Now a lot of people are already quite familiar with the brand, but for those of you who aren't, I think you may be a bit surprised as to how familiar you might actually be with Cardhu whiskey. Now, pretty much everybody has tried Johnnie Walker of some description along the line, and by doing so, you have most likely had Cardhu. So Cardhu is owned by Johnnie Walker, and they are pretty much, I guess, like one of the main whiskies that goes into a lot of the Johnnie Walker blends. So probably one of the first things that you will notice that when you start nosing this and drinking it, that it will be very familiar to you, even if you haven't tried this specifically yet. I remember when I first tried this, I wasn't aware of the fact that Johnnie Walker owns Cardhu and that they are used predominantly in their blends. And when I was trying it for the first time, I was surprised as to how familiar this whiskey actually was. So I think that's enough of that for now. Let's get on with the review and let's see what we get. So let's start off with that color. You've got this nice soft golden yellow. It's very nice. It has kind of like an olive oil tinge to it. It's kind of like slightly green as well. It is reminding me a lot of of olive oil, the color. So yeah, all right. On the nose, the nose is so fresh. Apples, pears, lots of vanilla and honey. There is so much honey going on in this. It is such a nice, sweet and soft nose. I apologize for the noise. I think some of the neighbors are doing some construction in the backyard, and there's some angle grinders and things like that going on, so hopefully it won't get too loud. But yeah, so again, you've got those beautiful orchard fruits that are coming through. So the honey is definitely a big feature on this. I'm also getting a lot of like sweet raisins. It's very nutty as well. I'm getting notes of like peanuts and cashews. It's got a nice soft earthiness to it as well. I'm not sure whether this is peated at all or not. I'm not going to say whether it is, but if anybody has tried this before and you happen to know whether this is peated or not, please leave me a comment down below and I'll add it into the description later on. There's a nice subtle level of barrel char, a nice oaky influence that comes through. It's quite tropical as well. I'm getting passion fruit. Yeah, it's got a nice passion fruit sourness to it. I think one thing you'll notice about the nose on this is just how clean it is. It just has a very clean and elegant nose. It's also slightly floral and just a little bit malty as well. but you really have to search for that maltiness. It's very subtle, but it is there. All right, let's move on to the palate and let's see what we get. So cheers. One thing that I'm really surprised at, the mouthfeel on this for a 40% whiskey, it's amazing. It's not too heavy, but it's quite, probably, I guess, light to medium. It gives you a full mouthfeel. It's very syrupy, very thick. Yeah, so it just activates all like sections of your tongue. Right now I've got like that nice little alcohol prickle going on. It was quite dry initially as well, but then that kind of goes away, and now I've just got all this like moisture just coming back into my mouth. Very oak forward. I'm really enjoying that oaky note. It's not too overpowering, but it's powerful enough that you're definitely going to notice it. So you've got that nice like peppery oak influence that's coming through. Again, it's very dry, slightly ashy. I'm also getting a bit of like an ashy note that's coming through, probably coming in from the barrel char. What else? Again, that honey, that sweet honey is definitely a dominant feature in this whiskey. So you've got a nice syrupy honey note that is blending its way into some more subtle floral notes. Think of like almost like a rose water that has been used in baklava. So you've got that nice dessert sweetness. The orchard fruits are definitely there. Apples, pears. I think I'm also picking up a bit of a sulfury note, which can tend to be a bit off-putting to a lot of people. I quite enjoy it. To me, it doesn't take away anything from the flavor of the whiskey. I'm really enjoying it. What else? That passion fruit is coming through again, slightly mixed in with a bit of pineapple. So those nice tropical notes that I was getting on the nose are definitely playing through on the palate. It is really nice to see how the notes of on the nosing are just blending in so seamlessly into the palate as well. So by that I mean that a lot of the notes that you will get on the nose are going to follow through on the palate. So expect a lot of similarity. That nuttiness is coming through, but now I'm starting to probably pick up a bit more of like a dry walnut type of note. This is just an absolutely like simple but delicious whiskey. The finish, let's move on to the finish now. Again, soft, smooth, elegant. This is a 40% whiskey done right. It just carries through on so many different layers. The finish is long. I wasn't even going to say medium to long. It's long. It just keeps going and going, and that's something that you don't typically get from a 40% whiskey. Usually a lot of the 40%ers that I've had before are usually quite thin. You get a few like dominant notes that come through, but then those notes just really like peak and then drop off quickly. With this whiskey, with the Cardhu 12, you're just not getting that at all. Those notes just aren't really peaking. They just keep going and going and going, and then it just, when you think it might stop, it keeps going some more. So mate, this is absolutely fantastic. I think this is probably one of the, at the moment, I think for the price point and the 40% ABV, probably one of the best valued scotches in this range that I've had for a long time. I think what might be a bit of a deterrent for a lot of people is the fact that this label is tied in with Johnnie Walker, and obviously there are a lot of people that are always dumping on Johnnie Walker, but having said that, the quality of this whiskey it's exceptional. It is brilliant, and it is 100% understandable as to why this is like a main feature used in a lot of the Johnnie Walker blends. I'll say I I don't really have much more to add on to that really, except for that I would have to say that this is definitely a fantastic and probably one of the best entry point whiskies I've come across. It's got something there for a lot of seasoned drinkers. It's got a lot of notes that that you'll be able to pick up and play around with. But I think that is definitely a much more important factor for newcomers into the whiskey world. You're going to have a lot of dominant flavors that you may already be familiar with, but you'll definitely be able to pick them out, and you'll be able to notice them, I think, a lot easily, or say a lot more easier than what you may find in some other entry level whiskies. If you're able to find this anywhere, definitely pick yourself up a bottle and give it a go. I do not think you'd be disappointed at all. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I think once this is finished, I'm definitely going to have to run back to the store and get another bottle to keep it on hand, because I really am enjoying this whiskey. It just opens up so nicely as well. I think this is one that you could probably let it sit and have it open for quite a while, and again the flavor will change. It will probably soften a little bit more. Already I'm starting to be able to pull out a little bit more of the vanilla notes that are coming through, and that's really just from having the glass sitting there for a few minutes. So I think I'm definitely going to have to take my time with this, really explore it, let it open up. I'm curious to see what water will do to it. Normally my experience with 40% ABV whiskies is that water generally tends to wipe them out, but I have a feeling with this one that it will be able to hold it quite well, and then it will just take it into a completely different direction. One thing I think I'm definitely going to have to try with this as well is to make a brilliant highball with it. I think this is definitely going to challenge a lot of the Japanese blends for good quality highballs, so I will give that a go later on as well. Alright, that's it. I've blabbered on too long. I'm gonna leave it at that, and yeah, my name is Andrew. I'll see you all again on the next video. KIPPIS.